This lesson is going to focus on the WALT, which is give an opinion about a story. So this is task 5 of this week, although because of the bank holiday, you might also be doing this on Monday of next week. That's absolutely fine. So our focus for today is to give an opinion. We are going to think about what we like about the story, whether that be the character, the setting, the illustrations, the events, the language, and also what we dislike. And finally, we're going to be thinking about our puzzles. What questions do we have? What are we wondering? Is there a part of the story that we wish the author would have told us a little bit more about? Maybe we're confused about why something happened, or maybe you're intrigued to know what might happen next. So I'm going to read the story from the opening to the ending, and whilst I'm reading, you're thinking about your likes, your dislikes, and your puzzles. So let's get started. Orion and the Dark. My name is Orion, and I guess you could say I'm scared of lots of things. Mum tells me I just have a big imagination and there's nothing to be frightened of. Well, that's easy for her to say. As far as I can see, the world is full of frightening things. Wasps, bicycles, wardrobes, the sea, girls, heights, dogs, especially the big ones, popping balloons, sheds, space, gran, storms, spiders, tartan, monsters, haircuts. But there is one thing that scares me more than anything else. The dark. Of course, I've tried all kinds of things to solve the problem. Invent the everlasting light bulb, dressing up as an owl. Everyone knows that owls can see in the dark. Painting my room with neon paint. Staging a protest. No dark allowed here. Night vision goggles. Capturing the sun. Eating lots of carrots. Keeping pet glowworms. But nothing ever works. And before I know it, it's bedtime again. Good night, Orion. Good night, Mum. I hate bedtime. The night that changed everything began like any other. I kept an eye out for monsters. I kept an ear out for scary noises. But as it got darker and darker and darker, I couldn't take it anymore. I've had enough of you, dark. I wish you and your scary sounds and your murky monsters and your pitch blackness would just go away. And that's when something strange happened. Gibbering jellyfishes. Outside my window, the dark seemed to come alive. And a thing I'd never seen before dropped in for a visit. I was feeling more scared than ever before, even more than when I went to that seaside dog show with Gran. But Mum always says it's important to remember your manners, especially when you're greeting monsters, visitors. So I said, "Hello, I'm Orion," and offered to shake hands. "Hello there, I'm Dark. Now, Orion, it's time you stop being so afraid of everything, especially me. Let's go on an adventure." Of course, normally I'd be scared stiff of going on an adventure, especially with a terrifying creature like Dark. Except this Dark wasn't quite what I'd expected. First, he asked to see the shadowy and scary bits of the house, the nooks and the crannies where the monsters live. In the wardrobe, under the bed, down the plug hole, in the basement. And you won't believe this, but some of the darkest places turned out to be the most fun. Even having fun couldn't stop me from being scared for long though. Wah! Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Bang! Twit twoo! Dark, what are those horrible, creepy and scary sounds coming from? Outside? Together, we bravely went outside to find the frightening sounds. And when we found them, they weren't frightening at all. Orion discovered the snoring was in fact his dad. The whistling had come from the wind. The crying had come from a baby. The tick-tock had come from the clock. The twit-twoo had come from an owl. The night-time is much more interesting than the daytime, Orion said. Dark asked me if I'd stopped feeling afraid. The horrible wiggling feeling had definitely gone a bit, but there was still one place that made my knees wobble and my tummy twist with fright. The awful place where the dark is darkest of all. And so off we went. On one last adventure, all the way up into the night sky. There, in the darkest place of all, suddenly I knew. When I stopped worrying about being scared, dark could be fun, and dark could be interesting, and dark could be magical, and most of all, dark could be my friend. And nobody, not even me, is scared of their best friend. But too soon we had to go home. As the sun began to climb back up into the sky, my friend began to fade. It was time to say goodbye. Dark, I've had such a super duper, spiffidocious, incredimundo adventure, but will you ever come back? I didn't want Dark to go. And so he promised, I'll never be far away. And from that night on, he never was. And that is the end of Orion and the Dark. So now it's over to you. Go and complete your likes, your dislikes and your puzzles. And I also want you to compare your prediction to what happened. And remember, we rarely get predictions exactly right, but it's good to just see just how close you were. So off you go. Bye, Year 2.